Hey everyone, Adam here. I'm just making this quick video to go over my thought process on how the Winter Major teams will be seeded. So before I start, I need to clarify that I approach this with the mindset of what I would do if I were the Psyonix esports team. This isn't going to be based on any personal opinions, this is strictly based on how the winter format works and the results of the fall major. First of all, the Winter Major will be different from the Fall Major, because instead of only the first round matchups, once we know the groups, we will already know all of the group matches. Based on the Winter Regionals, we already know which seeds will be placed into each group. The only part that is unknown is which teams will get which seed, but there are some things we can do to get an accurate guess of what that might look like. Another note is that since there are 5 NA and 5 EU teams attending the LAN, there will have to be 2 groups with regional matchups, no way to avoid it. Gibbs said in his Fall Major seeding video that they try to have as many international games as possible, so this would mean that each group will have 1 NA team and 1 EU team, with an extra NA and EU team thrown in there somewhere. Gibbs also used the Season 8 World Championships as a basis for the Fall Major seeds, as at the time it was the most recent international LAN. Using this logic, we can assume that Psyonix/Gibbs will use the Fall Major as a basis for the Winter Major. Here are the results of the Fall Major, and using tiebreakers, this is what the final table would look like. As you can see, some teams finished tied with each other, such as the 4 teams who were eliminated in the quarterfinals. The tiebreakers that I'm using start with their Swiss record, meaning that Dignitas will get the 5th spot and Endpoint will get the 8th spot. Sandrock and Complexity both went 3-1 in Swiss, but since Sandrock had a better game differential, they get 6th, while Complexity gets 7th. If there were any other teams still tied at this point, for example Furia and Team Envy, the final tiebreak is initial seed. If we were to place these seeds into groups as is, it would result in less than ideal groups, with lots of regional matchups, which isn't what we want. Instead of shifting the teams around, it's a better idea to go one by one, so that's what I did. The only thing I had to make sure of is that the teams who finished in a certain range at the Fall Major got placed in the same range for the Winter Major. For example, the 4 regional seeds who finished 5th through 8th at the Fall Major need to get seeded somewhere between 5th and 8th in the Winter Major. The first 4 seeds are easy enough. It's also good that EU has 1st and 4th seed, and NA has 2nd and 3rd, meaning it's balanced. If possible, putting 2 teams of the same region in the same group should be avoided. It's for this reason that the MENA team gets bumped up to 5th, otherwise it would result in EU2 and EU3 being placed in the same group. I use the same method going through all the seeds, attempting to avoid putting 2 teams from the same region into the same group. However, at a certain point this can't be done anymore. As I mentioned previously, there will have to be at least 1 NA vs NA matchup and 1 EU vs EU matchup. The 6th seed should be the next highest non-NA team, as there is already an NA team in Group C, so that means EU3 gets placed there. For the 7th seed, EU4 is the next best non-NA team. For the 8th seed, NA3 is the next best non-EU team, rounding of the top 8. For 9th, OCE1 is the next best non-EU and non-NA team. For 10th, it's OCE2, 11th, NA4, and 12th, SAM1. 13th is where the first repeat happens, which is going to be a repeat no matter what, as our only options are NA5 and EU5. Since NA5 is higher on the list, they get 13th, with EU5 being 14th. The final 2 seeds have no issues. 15th is SAM2, and 16th is the APAC team. With all that said and done, this is what I think the groups will look like for the RLCS Winter Major. I think this is what the esports team is likely going to go with, or at least something similar, but please feel free to leave a comment or something explaining what you think. So there we go, this was my attempt at a Gibbs style video. Maybe one day I'll be able to do what he does. I am really excited for the LAN, especially since I will actually be going. If anyone from Psyonix sees this, I would love to help out with any seeding or format related stuff in the future. Also, thank you to everyone who's been supporting me and using my spreadsheets. It's been amazing to see. Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace.